today. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, come and take your place today, Lord. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. I call Emmanuel, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. I am calling Emmanuel, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. The place for you is in my heart. The place for you is in my spirit. The place for you is in my soul. Father, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, the problem solver. Emmanuel, the problem solver. The bridge over troubled waters. Emmanuel, the best way maker. Emmanuel, that can turn things around. Come and take your place today, Lord. Emmanuel, come and take your place today. Emmanuel, 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 Emmanuel. Emmanuel, I said I'm calling you today. Emmanuel, I calling you today. Jehovah Elohim, I calling you today. Emmanuel, I say I calling you today. Come and take your seat right now. Come and take your seat today. Come and take your seat in my heart. I say I calling you today. Emmanuel, I call you every day. Every day I call you. Come and take this place right now.
All right, folks, welcome. I'm Alphonso Zean. So today is Tuesday. This is your informative news magazine, The Forum. It comes away every Tuesday right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Also showcase and the beauty and some of the good things of Liberia. This is Minister Joseph Bass, is a Liberian artist based in the West African state of Liberia, making a contribution. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, depending on your location. Welcome. This is Lpr-Tv.
Jehovah Shammah, Jehovah Ekinu, the bridge over troubled waters, the husband to the widow. Come and take your seat today. Come and take your seat today, Lord. We open up every arm. We welcome your presence in our homes, in our churches, in our country, Liberia. Come and take your seat in this place. We bless.
Absolutely. We welcome you in our churches, in our home, to take your seat. Emmanuel, God, there are so many ways we call his name. As long as done thing good fit and with holiness, he does answer. That's just a buzz from the West African state of Liberia.
Emmanuel, come and take your seat.
I want to say good morning, good afternoon to Douglas, my man Bio. There is in Germany, and always as one of our valuable listeners, we say it, one of the funniest artists, also flying the flags of Liberia in Germany. Thank you so much. We have to arrange time to also bring you here again, so we can get some of the good things that you can do. But as you know, a lot is unfolding in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. The 2020 senatorial races engulfed the 15 political subdivision. Rape issues on the rise, political tensions is hiking, building. Everybody says they're going to win it, but at the end of the day, it will bow down to one person. And Liberia Public Radio is here to bring you all of the happenings right before your very eyes. Stay tuned.
In my heart, the place for you is in my spirit. The place for you is in my soul. Father, come and take your place today.
This is what exactly we need. Father needs to take his place. Too much is ongoing in Liberia. It's just unbelievable. Some of the things that you see on the social media, some of the talking point, it is insane. It is ridiculous. I think we have turned our back to the old mandate, and that's a lesson we are. My guess, I could be wrong. That's what we are going through. I'm going to be speaking to a former diplomat, a politician. as well. He's a former senator of Maryland County. It seems to me we are hearing he wants to return to the very house that he's in right behind me in this building that you are looking at. Why everybody's so eager and so much interested in going to this building? So what is the beauty of this building? I know it's one of the branches of government in Liberia, but how is it being treated? Are they going there with good intentions, or people are just going there to enrich themselves? Usually, it's the traditions of this building. I know that when you are there, more or less, you should be there for the people. But for the most part, most of them, I go there, they hardly barely care anything. And when they are coming out, they are water people. They are the first class. In fact, country, there are two classes of people in Liberia. All right. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, just be your own with God. I am Alphonso Zean, of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe, wherever you are this morning, afternoon, evenings, as usual. We want to say welcome to this program. This is a forum. The forum comes your way every Tuesday right here on www.liberiapublicradio.com and Lpr-Tv. This is a network we discuss issues of national concern, our community, and nothing is so much that special. But what we do believe in, the interests of the Republic of Liberia should be protected. We want to deal with honest people that have the country at heart. So whether you sit behind the microphone or you're politicians or you are an advocate, you also must be held accountable of what you do, what you say, because it does have the propensity to exacerbate the already high tensions in the country. So we all know one to exempt. We all must be held accountable. Please do all a favor. Okay, I see here. Since my guest is already here, let's see here. I'm not getting hint. Hopefully, I get his image here as well, and I will be able to bring hint. Just if you can open your camera up, I will be glad. Your Excellency, the Ambassador. And we will have this discussion. Yes, just open your camera up for me a little bit, and we will be able to get everything going. Just if you can do a favor, just go off and then you can come back. Hopefully that camera will be open. Let me just get here out. Just go off and come back instead of making your time now getting you going. Just bear with me here. Let's do some little bit technical work here, and okay, welcome. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. For some reason, I'm not seeing his image yet, or hopefully he will get this right. Please, okay, let's see here. I think, okay, I think it's here. Yeah, I think it's here. All right, so let me just see here. Let me just bring this here. There he is. There he is. The ambassador from Liberia. He's joining me this morning, like evening time in Liberia. Ambassador John A. Jr. Ambassador, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I'm getting you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, and I hope you all were okay as well.
Okay. Let me just see here. I'm not sure what are you getting me loud and clear?
I'm getting you loud and clear.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, let's bring our man here who is based in Maryland, as where he knows the politics of Maryland. I'm talking about my man Beyond. I'm not sure where this sound on this here to me, but we managed it here. Andrew, let me just see what I can get it quick. That's not like the top off for a reason. I don't know why it came. Augustine Beyond. Let me just get that. I'm not going to right back to you. Right back to you. And then we just right away. Okay. All right. Just bear with me. All right. I think hopefully the noise ceased down now. I'm not sure where we're coming from. Okay. I think it's much better now. Good. All right. Okay. Let's get this conversation going. Gentlemen, good evening from Liberia. We want to say welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Thank you for joining us here. Let me go to the ambassador, I think, to see whether he can introduce yourself. Ambassador, let me just bring you in to introduce yourself to the to our audience, and we'll get this program going. Are you hearing me?
Can I go ahead now? Hello?
Yeah. Just introduce yourself, and we'll get a program going.
Okay, my name is John Malou. I'm the former senator of Maryland County, Liberia to the state of Qatar. I'm currently ready to contest the seat ready to contest the county this year.
I'm not sure what happened yet, but the audio here, let's see. Let me see here. Hopefully, we.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, for some reason it's running here to me, but okay, that's okay as long as it's okay that the audience, yeah, that would be an issue. Are you still hearing me? Yeah, I'm not sure. This is okay. The audio is not looking right to me, and I want to make sure our audience get us right. Is it possible that you can go and come back for the right? Is it possible to go off and rejoin the program? Yeah.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay, no. Now Yon, you are okay. Yon, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, yeah. I think the sound is coming from him because you are well audible. I wasn't really getting him. I don't want us to have that yet. Let's wait a little bit. Let's go ahead with the conversation. You are in Maryland, Liberia. Bring up to speed here the politics of Maryland before the guests come out here. What can you tell us about Ambassador Ballet, John Ballet?
Former ambassador to Qatar, Honorable John A. BALLOUT, and a former senator of Maryland County. He has expressed interest to contest the midterm elections that is expected to be held in December this year. And there are several names in the county so far. Honorable John A. BALLOUT has served Maryland County as a senator, and in 2014, he also contested to be re-elected, and unfortunately, according to the report, he was defeated into the 2014 elections. And by the grace of God, he was given the opportunity by Mala Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to have served as an ambassador to Qatar. So as it stands right now, he's currently in county amongst several other Marylanders who have expressed interest to contest the midterm elections. Why it is true that the campaign processes has not actually been officially launched or open, so they are not really campaigning, as we can say. From what we are gathering around, it's like they are basically moving on the issue about awareness or acquaintance. And if the National Election Commission will come up with the decision about campaign time or opening of campaign messages and giving the right for aspirant to be candidate to contest, then that can be done. But he's in county, and with what we have gathered, he was given the opportunity, like I said, by Mala Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to serve as an ambassador. That which does not suggest as to whether he remains the candidate for the Unity Party or as to whether he was even a partisan of the Unity Party. But it's good that he's here, and I trust he's going to provide a clarity with that, because I trust that all of us following the information that the Unity Party also form part of the CPP, that is a collaborating political party.
Mm.
And in recent time, there was some primary being conducted by the CPP or ANC in the county. And finally, they have come out with a decision that Honorable Eric Jiko is the one that is expected to go on the ticket of the ANC. So as it stands, we have not gotten official report or information from the former ambassador and the former senator who is expected to contest the election as to whether he's going as an independent candidate or he's going on a political party ticket. So the opportunity will be given to him where he will provide some clarity.
So let's do a little bit house brushing. Hopefully he will join us again here. But what is the whispering that you are hearing within the quarters of Maryland? And I know we had this conversation before. The selections or the coming into being of Eric Jacob, who I had the privilege to also talk to you. I don't know whether it really met the consensus of all of these collaborative parties, whether it was a sort of agreement, because there was no primary conductor, correct?
Yeah, so like I said, please come closer. So like I said, the primary was conducted somewhat around in March by the ANC or the collaborating political party, because Honorable Alexander B. Cummings, who happens now to be the political godfather for the ANC, also welcomed the decision and has announced that Honorable Eric Jiko is the candidate. So as we are here now in Maryland County, hoping to see who is actually going to be the candidate or who is the candidate, but ANC has come over a decision already. So it's just open it to the public that ANC has a candidate, or we can say the CPP has a candidate in Maryland County.
Okay,
Well, it will interest
is he joining you right now?
I'm trying to set it all right with him, but
Okay.
he's listening anyway. He's following the conversation by trying to get it right on his own phone.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I think the ambassador. All right. I think is that him? Okay. I see the ambassador. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Hopefully it is okay. Ambassador, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. And,
okay. Okay. Much better. Okay. Thank you so much. That's technology sometimes is good and bad. Okay. So I want to do you a really honest opinion here or view to adequately present yourself. This is something that I'm not really good at, to introduce people, and so I want to really so that the listening audience will know exactly who you are, so we can get this conversation going.
okay, like I said, my name is John BALLOUT. I served as the senior senator of Maryland County for 9 years. I also served as Liberia's ambassador to the state of Qatar. I'm currently in Maryland, trying to participate in this year's upcoming election for the next senator of Maryland County. And so far, we've managed to go around, and things are looking pretty good. And sometimes people ask why I'm in the race, and the answer is simple. Since we left government, things are starting to go backwards. And I've said to people, and if you decide you're going to live in this country, have your investment in this country, have your family, so only we as people, as Liberians, can make a difference in our country. And at a time like this, when democracy calls for us to stand up for those who are interested, to present themselves to the process, out of who think we have something to offer, to stand up and offer, because this is what our democracy calls for. So yes, think we have something to offer. So yes, that's what I'm doing, taking advantage of the provisions in our democratic system. I'm taking advantage of the opportunity. I wish I can again get back to the legislature and try to bring the country back on course.
Okay, there you have it. Directly to our man who understands the politics of Maryland, Zean, who is also our national correspondent. Yet will also help us yet in God's to intrude to come in where you find necessary because you're going to help to walk us through this process here. Okay, first of all, Mr. Ambassador, we want to say thank you for all that you did as a representative flying the flag of the Republic of Liberia in a foreign land. Here you are, back in Maryland country, trying to go back in government. That's quite interesting. Do you recognize this building that you are looking at? It seems to be the building that you used to be in.
Yes, that's my building. I've been there for 9 years. So yes, I recognize it.
9 years. What is audio here doing some crazy?
So let's just use my phone. I think it's coming from his end.
Yeah. So if you can just, we don't want our audience to be. If we can just have in, and then maybe after that, then I can bring you on that. Because if you're on the same audio, that will be so. Okay, you guys work it up. I'm trying to let me just work it up. I will as soon as I see your face there, I will let you guys know and bring you on. And okay, well, folks, I'm Alphonso Zean, so to the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here. Okay, let me see here. It seems to look much better now. Let me just bring in our guest. Okay, Ambassador, are you there?
Sure, I'm here.
Okay, much better, much better. Let me just do an editing here. You are not Augustine Young, so we don't want to get wrong presentation to our people. Yeah, so let me just get that. Let me just get that done quickly, and then we're going to get this on the way. We'll get this on the way here. Folks, just bear with us. This modern technology here is sometimes pain in the neck. So, but okay. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, I want to make sure the audience. Okay, there you go, Ambassador. You are deserving. We must give it to you. Okay, so talk to me a little bit. Your former senator. That's your bidding. You are accustomed to this bidding. You say you were there 9 years. You went into the foreign service. How was it like you serving as ambassador to the Republic of Liberia, returning home? What is the difference there from Capitol Hill to being an envoy?
Well, it's pretty much the same. What we do, even as senators, we are in effect, in one way or the other, as ambassadors of this country. We traveled around the world. We had high-level discussions with other governments. We work into engaging other partners into a lot of protocols, and we've attended a lot of conferences. We've presented the country in many ways that resemble the work of an ambassador. So pretty much the same, except for the area of diplomacy that required a little bit more, how do you say, specialized work. Now, I was able to, while I left the Senate to do my master's program in international relations, that also added value to my political career, that enabled me to better fit in the diplomatic area. But like I said, we're back now, getting involved in the politics of the country, trying to move forward.
Okay, so can you establish your political identity for the benefit of my listening audience?
In terms of which party I will be running?
Yes, I am. Yeah, which party are you affiliated?
Well, as you know, I'm a member of the Unity Party. And the Unity Party is one of the constituent members of, how do you say, one of the members of the CPP. Now, the CPP is meant to be the solution of this country. But I think the CPP has started off on the wrong footing in terms of how we present the right option to this country in terms of the correct leadership, the right acts and practices of democracy. What I've seen is a big disappointment to me and doesn't represent democracy in any way. We've had a CPP distributing constituencies in this country based on tribal alliances and places of birth and all of that things that have nothing to do with democracy. Here we've seen Liberty Party being given Grand Bassa simply because the late Charles Bromskin and the likes came from Grand Bassa County. We've seen Unity Party being given Cape and Lofa County because Ambassador Joseph Walker comes from Lofa County. We've seen Maryland claiming to come from Maryland, so Maryland must be given to Cummings because he's from Maryland County. It's a joke to me. This is not democracy. If we are to speak in the proper terms of democracy and we form a merger group called the CPP, which is meant to provide the real solutions to this country, then we should think beyond the petty discussions that have led to this kind of arrangement. I say people need to understand that if the CPP is to present a candidate, like we all agree, then all of the members of the CPP member parties who have candidates interested, they should all participate in the open primaries in each of these constituencies, and then the winner be declared the candidate for the CPP, and all of us will support that one person. But if Unity Party candidate like John BALLOUT is not going to be having the opportunity to contest in a primary that is going to decide on the candidate of Maryland County, then it's a joke. And it's a joke. It has nothing to do with democracy. It is a shortcut to having the tickets, the place on the ticket without going through the democratic exercise. So I have said to my own party, I am contesting in Maryland County, and I'm getting involved in this election because of the urgent need for sound leadership.
Not to interrupt you, Ambassador, you have said this to your party, the Unity Party.
Yes. In fact, before coming to the county, I had a conversation with Ambassador Joseph Walker, the standard bearer. I had a conversation with the party, and I got the blessing of Ambassador Walker. Then I came into the county and I started my work. And then all of a sudden, I'm hearing of this arrangement that has nothing to do with the arrangement in the CPP. That has absolutely nothing to do with the accord that we signed in the CPP. And it's something that's coming up. And so I've written the party, and I've written another letter reminding the party to take a position on this. If they are going to say they're not going to support the Unity Party candidate, then of course I have a decision to make. If they are going to support the Unity Party, then of course we know where we are up to.
So,
but
Ambassador,
I'm not going to flow with this kind of thing. So right now it's open. If the Unity Party is not going to endorse me as a candidate, then I will probably have to go as an independent, because I've said this to the party, and the love I have for Maryland County is bigger than the love I have for the Unity Party. The love I have for the Republic of Liberia and the dire need for sound leadership at this point in our history far outweighs the love I have for the Unity Party. So we have to set our priorities straight.
Okay, Ambassador, let me just step in here. Thank you so much, because this is a chilling revelation for me from my end, based on the information that I'm hearing. And I saw the framework that were drafted, and how the joint collaborative had the portions who's to take this county. I was wondering that forecast this could have been yesterday. But let me just ask you, you are a former ambassador, you are a former senator of Maryland County. Before even getting to this collaboration point, was there any technical discussion in terms of how this collaboration are going to work? Was there any technical discussions in that regard you know about?
Well, there were discussions held, and those discussions were not widespread. They were not inclusive and participatory. They were not in details, and they were not thoroughly done. But I don't want to go into the details now, and I don't want to draw this accord into question and disrepute. You know, this is something for whatever merit and demerit that it has acquired. Right now, it's not a subject of discussion, and I don't want to go into that now. But if you ask me if I had a fair share of the discussion, I will tell you no.
Your party was at the table during these discussions, correct?
Yes, but like I said, there are a lot of flaws in the whole process. There are a lot of flaws in the timing. There's a lot of flaws in the feedback to the party and back to the collaborating parties discussion. There was a lot of differences. There are too many things that didn't go right. But then again, I don't want to mix the discussion here today. Right now, we're discussing the issue of Maryland County and how I'm trying to win the election to be the next senator of this county.
Okay, but in the same context, we want to give our audience a clear sense of where we are and how we're going to move forward. So you say you talked to your Ambassador Joseph Boyka, who is the party leader of the ruling unity of the front ruling party, Unity Party. And if I got you correct, Ambassador Boyka already gave you his support, his blessing, correct?
Sure.
So from all indication, what I'm hearing now, what about arrangement? You are in it today and you're going to be contesting, you are on the ballot. Have you gone through all of the necessary prerequisite or to be a candidate for the county with the NEC?
No, that's the process that has just begun. And so we're going to phase that out now. And let me conclude on this whole idea of the CPP. I'm not here to question how the CPP went into that accord and what arrangement they have. Look, it's an arrangement between political parties. Whether it's properly done, whether it's done with a lot of flaws, you know, they come up with the agreement. I can either accept to flow with it or disassociate myself with it if at some point in time it doesn't meet my own expectations, what democracy calls for, from a serious arrangement like the CPP. So I'm not going to try to drag the CPP down. I'm just don't have to go along with it if it doesn't meet my expectations.
You are most likely placed into the gutter now. I could be wrong.
No. You know, a candidate who relies on a party to make him win is not a candidate strong enough to defend and hold his position. I have been senator for 9 years. If I can't stand on my own merit, then I'm not qualified to be senator of Maryland County. Then I'm not ready for that. Okay, so if it has to be, then I will go as independent. And if I go as independent, I know what I'm standing on.
Okay, hopefully when that decision is made, I will bring you here. But let's just dwell on your political quest this time around here. You've been there for 9 years. What is inconclusive for which Ambassador BALLOUT is trying to return Capitol Hill, this building that we are looking at here? Liberians, including myself, in and out, they are outraged. They are not happy with their lawmakers, the manner in which the country is going. You were there. Did you do it differently? And why should we send you there now that it's going to be a game changer?
Well, while you're on the Capitol building grounds, I will urge you to just turn around and ask some questions about John BALLOUT when he was a member of the Senate. I probably have one of the best records in the Senate. I'm not telling you who to ask. I say ask anybody in the Senate. Now, I'm one person who put the country first in all of our discussions, in all of our debates, in all of my votes, and all of my arguments. Despite the fact I was a member of the Unity Party, I checkmated my own party many times in order to bring some logic to our own government. So I'm not someone who was a blind partisan. I was someone who was more driven to push this country forward. And if my party was making the mistakes, I called my party to post. If my party was making the wrong recommendations for positions in government, I rejected those candidates. When my party had the wrong positions on certain issues, I voted against it. So I put the country first in many regards. And I stood tall to be one of the most respected senators in the Republic. Now, you can ask anybody, besides what you've done, you can set your own opinion poll. The reason I'm going back to the Senate today is simple. Since I left the Senate, we have advanced this country to a point that I thought would be on an irreversible path to growth and national development. Now we've seen those gains being downplayed. We've seen today salaries being reduced. We're seeing people, chiefs all over my county right now on payroll, but they're not receiving salaries. We're seeing hundreds of teachers on this bridge program. They're not taking pay. They're not on payroll. We've seen hospitals without drugs, without supplies. We've seen companies close down by the day in Liberia. We've seen people now, instead of taking pay every month, they're starting to go delays and stuff. People right here, a lot of things are going backwards. And it's not my place to insult government or fight the president. No, I don't do that. I support government. I, as a former senator, I, as a former ambassador, and I'm under obligation to lend support to government in power. So I am not a blind supporter, neither am I a blind opposition. I give support where support needed, and I correct all the mistakes where I find them, whether it's in government or elsewhere. So now is the time that we stand up and offer ourselves. I'm a politician. I have committed myself to moving this country forward. I bring passion to my work. I engage and exert strong oversight. So for whoever in this country that have monitored me over the years, they know what I stand for.
Okay,
So I'm going in there to advance this same kind of a work to make our country forward. Because today,
okay.
when I was in power, for example, Liberia was the fifth poorest country in the world. Today, we are the poorest country in the world. And there are no indications that things are going to get better anytime soon. The only indication right now is the opportunity that we have in these midterm elections to elect the right people to try to change the trend of things right now.
So, okay, Ambassador, Senator, I'm going to be flipping the names there because you have served those dual capacities, which I really appreciate and serve yet. You element I can ask. I am privileged to have you here. I do not believe in the innuendos or sort of by this red media. I'm privileged to have you here, and that's why I like to get it directly from the house's mouth. Let's look at the past. Put it into perspective here. You're talking about you stood up against your own party here. So let's give an example here to make your case here to our viewers, to our listeners, people that are watching worldwide. What are some of the things that you stood for against your own party that we can see as a tangible? Yes, Ambassador BALLOUT, this is what he did, even though he was a Unity Party person. But this was his vote, for example, on Capitol Hill when Unity Party was pushing it, and he felt that it was not in the interest of the Republic of Liberia. Any specific tangible that you can point to for us to know your position?
Well, a lot of them. A lot of them. The most recent one before leaving was the Ebola crisis. I led the debate in the Senate floor with my communication to encourage the president from the mandate of the Senate to declare a state of emergency and close the borders with Lofa and close the borders with Guinea and quarantine Lofa as we dealt with the Ebola right there, just to limit the flow, the spread of this virus. And the president refused. She thought that we had just come from some diplomatic economic isolation.
Just bear with us, folks. That's the internet assistant. He's way in Maryland County, Republic of Liberia. That's former Senator Ambassador John BALLOUT Jr. Is on the ticket that we are hearing. Go ahead.
Well, she opted not to do so. She went to the House of Representatives to
so let's see here. Just bear with us. Just bear with us. As soon as we get a signal there, right, from Liberia. He's all the way in Maryland County, Republic of Liberia. He's a former ambassador. He was in Senate. Are you there, Ambassador?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We understand the internet is a challenging thing there, so that's okay.
Right. So I'm saying she went to the House of Representatives, the president, and discussed with them, made an arrangement, an agreement with them not to concur with their Senate to declare a state of emergency, asking the president to do that. But 3,000 deaths afterwards, we came back to declare the state of emergency, something we could have avoided. And this annoyed me in many regards. Okay. Next thing I can tell you about is that we have a national youth empowerment program or something that we put in the budget, some 15 to allow the young people to have some form of livelihood through the city corporations around Liberia, where hundreds of kids were given jobs to sweep the city and pay them per month. And part of that program was the establishment of vocational schools. So we have $15 million, where $4 to $5 million should have been used for vocational schools. And this didn't happen. So when they brought the program back to me, I refused to approve of this thing, and I voted. I went against it. Went with my colleagues to go against it, to the dissatisfaction of my own party. But I said the most important component of this whole thing was to have some skills given to the kids instead of just broom to sweep. Have the vocational school that didn't take place under this program. Okay, and so that annoyed me, and we went against them. We didn't reactivate that program because they didn't put in the vocational school that should have been built. We have a lot of issues. I put a bill on the floor calling for people from NOCAL, the senior staff and the board members of NOCAL to come for confirmation, because NOCAL at that time was controlling a lot of financial power with all of the oil companies coming in, too much financial power. And so right there, the executive mansion, the president could appoint everybody that she wanted, and they didn't have to come for confirmation. And this included her son, Robert Salif. And I said, no, there's too much money at stake in this institution that we as Senate will not have a say who's going to go there. So these people should come for confirmation. My colleagues in the Senate try to work around this and try to suppress it. But those are some of my arguments that I have with my own government and many more. For example, there was some $16 million from the health sector that people have said was squandered from the Ebola and other sector. I called on the government to investigate. I called the Senate to investigate when that debate was on in my own government, because we would not be there and people speak of donor money not being managed properly and we don't investigate it. Yes, this does not suggest that this money was abused or squandered in any way. This is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if issues are raised and the concerns are being driven by the public, then the Senate has its own obligation to investigate. And I thought that's the best way to deal with issues instead of sweeping it under the carpet. And like I said, this does not in any guilt on the part of the government. But my own approach to bringing clarity and bringing transparency to government was to bring this to the table, investigate it for what it's worth, and draw a logical conclusion to it. So there are many issues. There are many issues we had discussions like this on. And if I would even go further to tell you that
Yeah.
many issues, many.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get the stake here. We're going to forge ahead with this conversation. But Ambassador, you will also agree with me. One of the critical issues that all I can say that fractured the unity party here was Ambassador Boycott was seeking the election the last time around. Madam Helen Johnson Sully was a president at the time. There's no evidence that the madam went in the forefront to give her support to the to somebody who served her for 12 years. You had a voice into that as well. What was your view? Probably just to double check.
Yes, I met privately with President Salif on this matter, and I met privately with Vice President Bwaka as well. And I said to both of them that whatever differences that we have to put it aside, because the country's fate of this country is by far too much of a greater value than petty differences. Yes, those differences cause big embarrassment to the country, and I regret every day that that happened, because at some point, whatever differences people may have, and quite frankly speaking, there weren't much differences. There weren't much. Joseph Boyka and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a very cordial working relationship of mutual respect and partnership. So whatever happened was just the devil's work, and I don't want to
Okay.
delve into it.
Anyway, as
I want
usual to the
to,
politicians.
if
Let
you
me
ask
just
me my role, I had a private discussion with her and with him, and I tried to resolve things that didn't work.
okay. So let's get back to Maryland. Talk to me here. You have some of your folks that are also contestant. How are you going to make this argument? Are they going to label you? Hey, this guy, you were Unity Party, you were there 9 years. A lot of things went on, like you alluded to, some of the things that you disagree with. And how can you perfectly articulate your new idea now that you are going with in this building that behind me?
Well, judging from your statement, you are suggesting that Unity Party had a lot of missteps that the people were not satisfied with. As a result, they don't consider the party of any importance. I will say to the contrary, that a lot of people, and not only in Maryland County, but the entire Republic, today understood the value of the Unity Party and the kind of development and progress we brought to this country. Judging from where we are today and what we're saying, the Unity Party, despite all of its shortcomings, appear like an angel that made significant gains that people will always remember. So, having said that, let me also draw this debate to my own self. Right now in this county, people don't see John Ballout as limited to a political party. People see John Ballout as an individual who himself commands his own respect, not only from his utterances, but from my own personality and my engagement to the county from my own vision that I put to the table and my debates. So I came to an election 2014, and something interesting happened. I was not elected. In fact, I got one of the lowest votes in this county. And this was quite disappointing considering the level of work that I have done for this county.
What were responsible for that, Ambassador?
Well, I'll tell you, I was just too busy working and I wasn't boasting or bragging about my work. I wasn't knocking my chest. I wasn't publicizing things. I wasn't politicizing things. And I wasn't claiming attention. Neither was I looking for notice. I just kept on working from one agenda item to another, from one progress to another. And unfortunately, things went the way they went. I was too busy fighting the Ebola in Liberia to be paying attention to the elections for an entire year. I just came to election about a month to election. I was fighting Ebola. I was not politicizing all of the gains that I've made in this country. But this time around, I'm saying to people, I'm here for two. I'm here to win the elections and at the same time to expose all of the candidates in the race so that everyone voting will vote from an informed position and make a sound judgment. No one is going to vote out of ignorance in this election, especially when it comes to three specific candidates, John BALLOUT, Dan Morales, and James Banning. The three of us have served in this country no less than 9 years. Okay? And now the three of us, when coming to ask the people of Maryland County for a new assignment as senator, must be required to submit our report card that we have, the score sheets that we've had accumulated over the years. We must submit it. And that if that is satisfactory to the people, we may be given serious consideration. If it is not, then you have no right to even ask the people for more when you
So then let me ask you. So let me ask you. In the past, Ambassador, were those report cards submitted to the people, or why are you calling for the submissions of report card when you no longer even there?
If a report card was required, believe I would have won my election 2014. I didn't brag about it, but this time
why you didn't call for it then? Now, and you're doing it now.
Like I said, when you're incumbent, it's different from somebody who's come trying to get on board. Somebody who's trying to get on board is gonna say the world, promise the world, criticize everything without understanding anything. Now, when you've been there before, you can only tell people to look at how you served. And if they like it, they vote you again. If they don't like it, they choose whoever they want. This is what I said. However, I did not campaign this country. I didn't campaign. I came 1 month to election and I just told the people to vote their conscience because I was so satisfied with the level of work that I've done for Maryland County.
Your opponent Ambassador, your opponent might count on that, say, Walter, that was your own political flight. Perhaps you didn't have the strength to pull it out, so it was done on purpose. So would that be like an excuse, or would that be an argument you're going to take on the debate table that because of Ebola, and you knew very well you were going into the process?
No. It's not just because of Ebola, because I didn't publicize all the work I did for Maryland County. I'll tell you something, as strange as it may sound, 95% of the people in Maryland County don't know the work I've done for this county. They don't know. I didn't go bragging. I didn't go knocking my chest. Look, I said to you, you are one of the best journalists in this country. Have you ever heard of the sister state relationship between the Maryland, USA, and Maryland, Liberia? Have you ever heard of that? One of the most significant diplomatic gains this country has had since independence.
No. You established that?
2006, first year of work. Why the rest of these other?
So why all of these good things were? So, Ambassador, why all of these good things were invisible?
That's what I say. I was more driven by a passion of work and progress, and I was not being political about it. But this time around, I am being political about it. I am speaking to it, and I'm speaking in very loud voice. Okay? So right now, everyone has understood. Look, I just tell you for a little thing. There was a little girl in the high school in Pligo City. She picked up the phone and called me, Senator, you know we love you. All of us love you. We want to support you. But we talk about you, and some people say you were senator for 9 years, you didn't do anything. Can you please tell me what you've done for this county? And so I told the girl. She said, but Senator, how is it possible that you've done all of this and nobody knows about it and people say you haven't done anything? So please write it down for us. And I'll tell you, for the first time in my political life, 5 months ago, I wrote down everything that I've done for this county. And so it's like 2-page typewritten. And I challenge any lawmaker of Maryland County. In fact, I challenge all of them put together if they have done 50% of what I have done for this county. And I challenge any person to tell me one lawmaker, one political leader of Maryland County who has done more than I have done for this county. And I'm not talking about President Topman, who you take away. We're not talking about the president. Any other senator or representative who has done more than what I've done for Maryland County in the history of Maryland County. So
it seems to me there was a great deal of lesson learned the last time around, and this time you are going into it forcefully.
Oh, I'm going to it more than forcefully. I'm going to it angrily. I'm going to it angry.
Are you unhappy with your colleagues on Capitol Hill right now? Are they not doing the right thing for which you want a replacement to get the guy who is from Maryland to getting up? Are they not doing the right thing in your mind, you think?
Look, I know being in the Capitol building is a whole lot more complicated than what people know it to be. Okay? It's a political house. It's a house of only politicians. It's a house of people who got elected simply because they were popular. It has nothing to do with your competence. It has nothing to do with your anything except that you are popular. So however you gain that popularity, whether by lying to the people, whether by giving them rights, whether by dancing, whether by being somebody of this tribe or the other tribe, for whatever reason you got elected, that's the kind of a body you have in the Capitol building. And these people are politicians. They have a lot of pressure from the executive. And if you are not strong enough as a person, if you don't have a kind of a sound political orientation with a philosophical backing of trying to change things for the next generation, not just your own benefit. If you're not strong enough, you will not understand the need and the opportunity you have in the Senate to make that kind of an impact. Few of us were there, okay, and had that kind of an impact. But I can tell you, a lot of those very few people, they got frustrated and they don't want to go back to the Capitol building anymore. Okay? They don't want to go back there.
Are you not one of those? You are not one of those.
No. I was one of those who was kind of disappointed that we could not effect the level of change that we wanted to because we're not in the critical mass. We're not in the majority in a way. But I'm one person who still says that this journey is not going to be easy.
But it's
not going to be easy. So we have to be present, and we must stand up and against the odds to move the country forward in any case.
Yeah, Ambassador, and I could be wrong here. I see the story now, and what I'm hearing from you now is like I've got a piece of cloth between the scissors. You did not. I see the process has been transparent. It's undemocratic. I see reason with that, but yet your party is still within the collaboration. And if the party supports the initiative of the collaboration, because I interviewed Eric Jikoy here, who happens to be the guy that is up now, how that process was conducted, that's another thing to be questioned. So if you are walking off the system and you're going to be going as independent, how do you think your party going to perceive you to be?
Well, I'll make it clear. I have nothing against the CPP. The CPP designed the system that is not formed in the
but why you didn't walk away initially when this whole framework was put together? Why you didn't alarm your party? Why you didn't walk away? You allowed the process to take place. We are now at the finishings of this whole political marathon, and all folks are saying, okay, it is a collaboration. Perhaps will bring a new delivery or bring new change to Liberia, which I still finding it very difficult because of the tone, the message I'm getting. But the ballot line here, it started. You were there. You knew there was some discontent, Ambassador, and you did not take a definitive position. Why the game should be over now, and you are calling for replay?
No, I'm not calling for replay. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, the CPP is free to do what they want to do. Okay, the Unity Party is free to do what they want to do. But I'm not compelled to go along with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not crying foul here. No, I'm not a baby in politics.
So what happens when your party if you refuse to endorse you?
Then I have a choice to make.
What would that choice be? What would that choice be?
The choice would be to either don't get in the race or go as an independent. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have.
Give me a preference. Give me a preference. Let's get it on record and let our audience to understand. What is the preference? Go as independent, go as not going in the race. Let's put it on the scale 1 to 10. Which one you see to see priority number 1?
Well, going as independent is priority number 1, 10 times over on the list.
Going
Okay,
as the,
I'm just
does that mean at the end of your membership? It means that you're end with the membership of the Unity Party, correct?
No, it means that I will not be going on a Unity Party ticket, and I will be going as an independent ticket.
And when you win, who? Well, then who are you going to caucus? Suppose if you win it, who are you going to caucus with?
When I win, you mean? I'm not going to. I'm going to go into the Senate with an independent mind, and I'm going to move this country from an independent perspective. And whatever rearrangement or realignment that may come my way will be determined and discussed in the.
Okay, well, folks, just bear with us. That's the network. That's Ambassador John 8 Ballout is in Maryland County. Is contestant. He's a former ambassador to Qatar. I served as ambassador in Qatar. A former senator of Maryland County for 9 years. You heard that. Okay, so are you back with us?
Mr. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Young.
Ambassador, thanks so much for joining us.
Right.
This is a situation. What if the president of the Republic of Liberia now decides to appoint you to go back to Qatar? Because since according to report, since you were actually maybe being dismissed, that position remains vacant. What would be your choice? Is it that you still going to go back, or you would like to contest the election?
You see, I guess I need to remind you there are two types of politicians in this country. People who do things to attract attention and then call them for negotiation and give them something, and people who are driven by passion for change in this country. Okay? I am one person who's driven by strong passion of reform or change in this country. We are not going to be in this country and people look at us like jokers because our country is such a big mess. The children don't have a future in this country because leaders are irresponsible and we don't take the right decision. We are people smart, intelligent people in this country, but there's nothing to prove to prove or affirm our smartness or intelligence. We have to make a difference. I'm not trying to do this to get the attention of the president. The president, in his wisdom, decided to recall this ambassador, and that's his prerogative. I never raised any issue. I had nothing negative to say about the president. I thank him for the opportunity to serve the country. And no, I'm not interested in right now in anything. Right now, I'm interested in getting to the Capitol building, hold a job given to me by the people that nobody can dismiss me, and have the platform by which I can speak with absolute authority given by the Constitution of the first branch of government to assist and effect the change that is needed to go forth in this country.
So what becomes of your next action if you happen to lose the election, unfortunately?
Well, again, like I said to people when I came for the election, I'm only speaking because it's the time to speak. The people of this country and the people of like Maryland County will have to choose who they want. And we all going to have to tell them who we are and why should we be elected. If they choose otherwise, for me, it's over. We support whoever is there and we move forward. I'm a person who brings people together. I don't tear people apart. I contribute to government. I don't fight government. I contribute to the nation building exercise. I don't destroy this country. So if by any means, reason that I'm not elected of this county as senator, of course, I will respect the person we won, like I did the first time around. I was the first to recognize Blebo Brown, the winner of the election. I raised his hand. I went to him. I told him, Blebo, I came to congratulate you and wish you all the best. Be assured of my support as I pray to God for wisdom to help you guide our county. And that's it.
So with the expertise, our audience will be wondering that with this kind of a brain this man has, what is it that you are so concerned about being re-elected or to be elected? Is it that you cannot make great impact in this country except you become a senator?
No. I'm a businessman already in this country. I'm an opinion leader in this country. And I'm a peace-loving citizen who doesn't need any kind of government title to be relevant. I'm only opting for this platform to be able to effect necessary changes that needed to go in government. As a senator, you have a certain space provided by democracy that allows you to make the impact. If you're not in the Senate, I don't care how you want to talk about it here, you're not going to be given that opportunity because you don't occupy that space.
Back to you for continuation, sir.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. You're a businessman, ambassador, and in the business world, every country, it is the business people that hold the economy of the country. This is where job growth comes from. So somebody listening as a, but wait a minute, he's a business guy. So why is he still insisting to go into the Senate? That's your constitutional right. But talk to me here a little bit, ambassador. What is the yardstick? What is the change that you are trying to effect here that didn't happen? For example, there must be certain bills, something that you want to champion. Perhaps you didn't have the time when you were there 9 years, and let's give it to you. Say maybe you go there for this time around. You will champion that cause. What is it? What is the thing that is really within that you want to channel if elected as senator of Maryland County?
Okay, let's just, again, before I answer, let's come one step back. You know, when you say he's a businessman, you control the economy, meaning suggesting I have money. Why do I want to go into the Senate? You know, this is another petty argument that most people, especially politicians and even ordinary citizens, put in their mind, that you go to the Senate to get money. You go to government to get money. No. First, even as a businessman, I'm not a wealthy person. Okay, I'm not a big businessman in the country to control millions of. Look, I'm just an average businessman, keeping my head above the water and providing jobs for about 43, 44, 45 persons. Now,
that's huge. Thank you for that.
Now, going back, good, thank you. So I'm not going to the Senate because of money. In fact, I'm going to the Senate for the direct opposite. If you ask me what are some of the things we want to do, what some of the things I promised the people of Maryland County this year when they elected, is that even though we brought the Tubman University here, we realized not everyone is going to go to the university. Not everyone is a university material. So we're going to put vocational school in each of the 4 districts of Maryland County. And then I just said to them, I'm starting with Maryland, but this vocational school is going to go, I think it's frozen, it's going to go throughout the length and breadth of Liberia, through the 73 or so districts of the Republic of Liberia. Okay? And someone will ask, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Yeah.
Someone will ask, Senator, where are you going to get the money from? Okay, because it's not enough for a politician to just say, I will do this. You have to also justify where you're going to get the money from. That's what sound leaders do. And I can tell them, today the senators are making $17,000 a month, 17,000 United States dollars a month. That's what people do. They go to the legislature to make money. That's how come teachers are still making $130, but
you were there before. You were there before.
Listen, before I answer you now, let me just say, I'm going there to cut the Senate salary, the legislature salary into half, and we'll take the rest of that money that will constitute tens of millions of dollars and send it to vocational school throughout the length and breadth of this country, and take 100 and so people, instead of them being kings and queens of this country, and send that money to the masses and let every one of our citizens have an empowerment that can take their lives to another level. Now, you asked me the question. You said I was there before with that kind of salaries. Let me make a correction to you. When we were elected to the Senate, we were making $800 a month. It went up to $2,000, then later $4,000, then went up to $5,000. At that point, I said to my colleagues, this is enough. We should not be trying to make more money like this. Then it went up to $7,000. I wrote 4 communications to the Senate, because what was happening in the Senate, let me tell you today, is like an arm race. The House of Representatives will hide money in a budget to increase their income. The Senate will have to counter it. And the Senate, look, the senators and representatives make the same money, penny for penny, dime for dime, dollar for dollar, which is absolutely not correct. A senator is not the same like a representative. Representative, like for example, you're in Monrovia. How many districts do you have in Monrovia? How many?
About I'm right now. I'm in the States. About let's say 17 districts. If I get it on top of my head, 17 districts.
You put those districts. One representative, he is making the same money like a senator that covers the entire county and has to report to all of those districts. It doesn't make sense. So I put the communication on the floor of the Senate 4 times to harmonize the salary consistent with our roles in government as senator and representative, and consistent with our responsibility to reporting and to our people. Now, a senator from the Southeast Maryland County cannot have the same gasoline allowance like a senator in Monserrado County.
So,
let's be serious.
Yeah, that is.
that point, we needed to harmonize it. And when I left the Senate, we were at like $8,000, $9,000. Now, since I left, those my colleagues added $10,000 to that money almost. Okay, and when is it going to stop? I put a bill on the floor limiting anybody in the government to make more than 100 times another citizen. Of course, they crushed that bill, but the rationale behind it was to put a lid on the ceiling, that you do not just add your salary up because you have the power as lawmakers. We're the only people in this country that can increase their salary at will. They're lawmakers. That's how come it's reached up to $17,000. And so, no, I was not there when it was 17,000, and I'm not going to be there when it's 17,000. I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to take that money and build vocational school throughout the length and breadth of this country. You need people with that boldness, with the passion for change, this kind of reforms.
Ambassador, are these statements or assertions of political correctness because you are trying to go that? That's what maybe your opponents or someone that is listening here said. These are politicians. They are seasoned politicians. Those are the statements. Those are the things that they always want to do to go through. Are these political correctness statements that you are driving us, including the courting, including the courtings of the salaries and all that you all inclusive that you are talking about?
Ask the Secretary of the Senate, Nimbala Singbe, ask him how many communications the Senator Ballout write in trying to harmonize salaries between lawmakers so as to put an end to this kind of salary raise that was going on between the House of Representatives and the Senate. Ask him. You have the communication. Ask him how many communications did I write. Ask him. Ask Oscar Cooper. He's there. Ask him how many communications did I write. Not Oscar Cooper, who was there before. Joel with me. Ask Joel. She will tell you. Ask Prince Johnson, who was there, some of my old colleagues. Ask them how many communications did I write. So I'm not speaking out of terms that you cannot verify. No. If I'm going to cut the salary in half, I'm going to be embarrassed to be in the Senate making that kind of money when nurses are making $150 in this country. I'm going to be embarrassed to make that kind of money when teachers are making $130 and not taking pay on time.
Ambassador, it seems from what I'm hearing and from my last conversation here, and that's something I'm seeing some sort of line of reasoning because Senator Abraham Darrow's Dillon is saying that, okay, let us standardize this and everybody should be making the same. I don't see any honesty and sincerity in there. You sit in Morovia, you have somebody who's going to be going to River G, who's going to be going to Busano, who's going to be going to Maryland. And it just brings me to the point, one political commentator saying, in fact, we don't even need senator or representative in Mosorado County. If we want to be like a USA here, they don't have representative for Washington, D.C. and all of that. Why are they paying all of these people here? So my guess, you are kind of against the idea or this theory of Senator Darrow's Dillon. If you like that, you're going to vote against it.
No, I'm not against it. In fact, let me say Senator Dillon was a staff member in the Senate when Senator Ballout was making these arguments about harmonizing and cutting down salaries. So I'm more than convinced he got his inspiration from me. And I'm not trying to cut into whatever because his intentions are good, is to make things better. What I'm going to do is to help advise and help modify it and bring more and make more contribution to his argument to help him. Dillon is someone who we groom in the Senate, who follow us, who call us role models. And so we are proud to see him taking some of these bold steps that a lot of other senators are not capable of doing.
He called, he used to be in that building, and he called your colleagues in that building as spineless. Did you hear that from him? You hear that? Is that something, did it go down well with you?
Well, I will tell you that there are some senators who are spineless in the building. And there are some representatives who are spineless in the building. Okay, so I would not categorically go against a statement, but I would not make it a sweeping statement either, because there are some people, no matter how little, no matter how few members of the Senate that I have utmost respect for, who are partners with me in seeking reform and bringing credibility and integrity to the institution.
Marylanders are listening to you. You were calling names. I'm not sure what are those names that you're calling. They are colleagues who have been in the. I did not hear Eric Jico name from the ANC. Was it on purpose, or you were just making reference to the colleagues that were in the building there before?
No, I divided the political actors right now in this race into two categories. I call one the positive force and the other the evil forces. The positive forces being led by John Ballout. You can have a Eric Jacob, you have a Wolo Topo, you have a Musa Lawal, you can have there's a young fellow coming on board, one Yancey, and any other person so far. And the evil forces, Dan Moraes and Jane Barney. These people have been there and have abused power at every given opportunity. They've suppressed regions that didn't vote for them. They've deprived these people of representation. And I think they should not ever be given opportunity to serve in this county. So as I speak to the people of Maryland County, I made it very clear. I know these two people like ABC. I worked with them before. And I've said to them in very categoric terms, if you don't want John Ballout, vote for Topo, Jico, or any of these other people. And the reason why these people are included on the positive forces category is that they're entitled to the benefit of the doubt. They have never been given opportunity and where they squander it, abuse it, and suppress the people. But if I would speak with reference to Senator Moraes, for example, I said Senator Moraes was a senator for 9 years and neglected and deprived the people of Baruba district, one entire district of representation, because they didn't vote for him there. And that's not fair. When the elections are over, they're over. Whoever voted for their choice, you are now senator for everybody. And you must, whether you like it or not, represent them, visit them, and report to them. So the fact that he's not done it for 9 years, and this election year he's taking zinc plastic chairs and cement to them now, is just a joke. Now,
so was he the one you are making reference to, politicians who giving rise and stuff and things like that? Was that an indirect statement you were referring to him? Now I'm hearing his name out of you.
No, I didn't mention anybody giving rise. I'm just saying Senator Moraes did not go to the Baruba district for 9 years. It is the 9th year he's taking these things to these people and trying to campaign there. He didn't go to an entire chiefdom in his Harper City here, Harper district, the Newman chiefdom. He has now gone to Rocktown, Fishtown, Kabara, Middletown, and Little Rebel for 9 years. These major, prominent rebel civilizations in the Harper City, because the people had a choice during election. This is unfair. Now, he also in a major, highly dense population of the nuclear town in Harper District. This man has not gone to this kid for 9 years, simply because he said they didn't vote for him when it's just a stone throw from where he lives. Now, I say that's an abuse of power. And if you think that anybody is going to use power again to suppress these people for additional 9 years, he must be joking. So it's time for payday. He will not be given that opportunity. I will ensure that it doesn't happen. The same with James Barney. He was representative here 14 years, one Harper district alone. The same Krumah were chiefdoms. He didn't go to the same Rocktown, Fishtown, Middletown, Kabara, and Little Rebel for 10 years out of 14 years. This is a man who wants to claim to be senator of Maryland County when he cannot handle one district, when he poorly represented and deprived them of representation. It's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, as senator of this county, I serve as the #1 chief protector of this county. I will provide direction, I will provide information, I will provide insight and knowledge to the electorate, and they will vote wisely. 14 years, Senate 14 years, James Barney was representative. There were 3 to 4 major crises in his district. I alone came in this county to single-handedly resolve these crises. The representative of this district, James Barney, at all opportunity and time, switched his phone off and he was nowhere to be seen. Major crisis where the people could have gone to kill themselves. He escaped the scene, ran away from these places. I'm not going to take something like that seriously. When you are a leader, you are the first to go to your people when they're in crisis. You stand up and provide leadership. If you default on that, if you neglect your responsibility, you don't have the right to require more responsibility for an entire county when you cannot handle a district.
So can you tell us the exact time? What crisis are you talking about?
Crises such as the Rocktown Wachakan crisis. Major crisis between 2 civilizations, 2 chiefdoms, where 2 persons were killed from another chiefdom. 2 days later, John Ballout, the only lawmaker to come down, I was in Wachakan and had a meeting with the Chief Nelly and his council up to 12 o'clock in the night. The next day, I was in Rocktown. I was having a meeting with Chief Gray Elliott up to 12 o'clock in the night, and I slept in Rocktown. I went back to Monrovia and told President Sadiq I had intervened politically to stabilize the situation while we wait for government to move in. Banning the representative of that district was nowhere to be seen. The representative of the Plebo-Solica district was nowhere to be seen. I did that. Where was the banning now? Asking to be given that place. When the government delayed to move in, the same Wachakan people and Plebo-Solica district people moved into Harper. They seized the Harper City Hall. they have at least 500 people from that district in Harper, where the country devil was brought in town, and the superintendent was in hiding for about a week. I came into Maryland County. I brought the justice minister on the same with me, the internal affairs minister, and the UN to the county and resolve that crisis. Where was the representative Bunny? His phone was off. He was out of this county. The Boyo case that took place here with the ritualistic killing, that was a major crisis in Harper District. This representative phone was off. He was out of this district. Never put his foot to resolve this thing. I came here with the justice minister, internal affairs minister, and the UN again to resolve this thing. I worked for this county. This man ran away at every given opportunity when he had a chance to stand up as leader of this place. I will not, on a given circumstance or opportunity, allow people of this quality. I know long in advance what they have done for the county, that they would never be there when the county. They would be given the opportunity. That never happened.
Honorable Ambassador, is there any?
They're free to vote for anybody else for the positive forces, but from the evil forces, the James Barney and the Dan Moran, they were never given that opportunity. And the people of Maryland County have gotten that message very loud and clear. My message resonates in every corner of this county and makes sense to the people.
What will be your action, sir, if James Barney or Senator Moriah wins the election?
But I would say, God forbid, and you should never mention it because it would never happen.
So, Ambassador, I want you to respond this. Yeah, I'm getting a text in some Liberia. Apparently, that happens. I assume this is a voter, potential voters of Maryland County. He said, "We are Marylanders. We know all of these stories. I'm interested for the ambassador to tell me the new visions and idea he's bringing, instead of rehashing some of these old days that we really don't want to." I focus on what is the vision. So, what is the new idea he's bringing to the table? Does he have a valid point?
Well, he has a valid point, except that he is afraid of the truth coming out because he's probably one of the supporters of these guys, Barney and Moriah, who doesn't have a strong enough report card to justify the inclusion in this year's election. Let me say this to you. My reason for speaking out to the truth on this matter is because people too often get elected without knowing, without the electorate knowing anything about them. They go on to the slogan, oh, say, ja, 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 this year, no, ja, 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 ja. This year, no, oh, say. No matter what kind of t-shirt you can wear on yourself, no matter what presidential candidate or what president t-shirt you can wear, you will have to be a man of quality, a man of substance, somebody strong enough to stand up on this county in need, and somebody with a strong enough voice and sound mind to make a sound argument to move this country forward to be qualified as a senator of Maryland County. Having said that, let me say that's why I will not stop in saying the truth to the county people, to the people of this county, so that they know who they vote for.
Honorable, now
he's asked, what is the vision? I just spoke to you. I'm bringing a vocational school into the 4 districts of Maryland County and beyond Maryland throughout the length and breadth of this country. In my own government, I said to President Sirleaf, we are going the opposite. We try to develop this country without the full participation of the population, without the citizens' participation in a significant way. We try to develop this country. And it's the same mistake that this President George Weah is making in his government. We try to develop this country without the participation of the people. And the people cannot participate because they are not capacitated to. What we need to do is the reverse. We need to build the people, develop the people, and the people will develop the nation. And so this is the policy that I'm bringing to government now. Liberians are passive, they're consumers, they're not active participants in the economy. They don't have the skills, and as a result, they're not capable of filling in the space required to bring all the technical skills to the nation building exercise. So we're going
Mr. Ambassador,
yes,
Mr. Ambassador, with due respect, it's a sort of hair scratchings, and I'm a critical thinker here. You were there for 9 years. Your party was the ruling party. You have all of the leverage where you can pick up the phones. At the end of the day, it might have, like you said, a lot of pressure comes from the executive. It must have an executive push. So all these years, while you were there 9 years, where were those visions? Why now you're telling us if you are elected, you will, which is nothing definitive. Politicians always are well crafted into their political thoughts and how to persuade a voter. How can an ordinary person of Marylanders who is a potential voter to say, well, how can I believe this? This guy, he was there. So when did he realize that we needed vocational institution now? Now he wants state power. He wants to go on Capitol Hill. He's telling us now he's going to bring vocational institution. Why should we believe that?
Well, you will be correct in your statements, and accept that you're too far from Liberia. You're in America, like you said, and you don't know what's happening on the ground. You don't know where we took this country from. And as we build this country, we've seen that there's still more to do. And like I said to you, I am one person who's been very critical of my own government, and I differ with President Sirleaf on a lot of issues, including this very same issue of vocational school. I said to President Sirleaf, we have 64% of the population being youthful, and we have only about 6 vocational schools in the country. 5, 6 vocational schools in the country. For me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, because these kids, a whole generation was lost during the war. Today, you have kids who are 22 years old, who are 10 years old, and stop in elementary school. And today, they are 22, 23, and they're still in 6th grade. They're not going to go back to school. They need skills at this point. And then, whether you like it or not, whether they're educated or not, these will all have children one day, get married, and have kids, and they are responsible to will be responsible to provide for this family. So we need to give them earning capacity. We have
Right.
to give them that earning capacity so they can take care of their family. And this is the kind of argument, and this is some of the things that I had serious problem with my own government for. So yes, you're right. And did I do anything about it? Yes, I did something about it. Like I said, the youth empowerment program that was sent around, $15 million for kids to sweep the streets in the city corporation. I made sure that we had a $4 to $5 million component for vocational school to be built, and we didn't do it because of that. I did not lend support to that program, and it discontinued. And the current Minister of Finance, Samuel Chua, was responsible for that program, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So yes, you may have an argument, except that it is not valid because Senator Ballout has been making this point, and
And
unfortunately, you're not there to attest to it, and so you don't want to believe it. But truth be told, this is who I
no,
am.
I'm
This
just
is what I stand for,
yeah, I'm
and
just afraid.
this is what
Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm a free thinker. But to be honest, Ambassador, I must give you the credit. Most of the experience and even the Cuban, I've never heard a single person that talks about vocational institution. If I look at the generations of today in Liberia, from Monrovia to the length and breadth, all of the country, just like you said, South with Bear Pie, where is the National Rehabilitation Commission for these people, for these young folks to empower themselves, to be able to get off the street, to learn vocational and technical skill? You are the only person so far I'm hearing, and I must give it to you for just even measuring that. But I must also hold you guys responsible because you are one in a seat. But I must give it to you for even pointing that out.
let me speak to you about something else I intend to do. In
Hmm.
this country today, we have a proliferation of cocaine, crack, and all kinds of drugs on the streets of
Jokes.
Liberia. And now it's filtered down to Plebo City and Harper City here in Maryland County. A lot of kids are being robbed of their spirits. They've been robbed of their mind. They've been robbed of their lives by this cocaine and these drugs. I am going to get drugs out of Maryland County completely. The cocaine and the crack, they're all going to leave Maryland County. Okay, too
I,
many parents are suffering from this thing. Too many young people are suffering from this. And I'm not going to fight it like an ignorant person. We're going to bring a drug rehabilitation center into Maryland. We're going to place it next to the Tubman University. And we're going to help rehabilitate people, because these kids are on, if you understand anything about the drugs, the cocaine, the crack, and all of that, if you understand it, you'll know that most of these kids don't want to be on it. They want to leave it. It's just that it's too overpowering. It's too strong for them. Okay.
how you gonna do it? You're just a lawmaker. You're not a police. You don't have the policing system. So how you gonna do it? How you gonna collaborate to get that done, Ambassador?
That's some of the reasons I said I need to go to the Senate, because on the Senate platform, I can make an argument and I can insist that it get become part of government program. And I can put the money in the budget, and I can cut money from other places that are not necessary, and we can put it to where it's necessary. Right now in this country, you only have one rehabilitation center, one drug rehabilitation center that is in the Dupo Road, that is not capable of taking more than 50 people adequately. And you have more than 10,000 children in this country hooked up on this drug, increasing 10% every year of that number is being increased. So So we as leaders are under obligation to protect the next generation from these harmful drugs. And it doesn't make sense. A country already poor, a country already struggling, will start to deal with this kind of social problems today. These kids who call Zogos all over, these are kids who need help. They're crying for help. And so they need to be put into this kind of rehabilitation center where they will be given medicine to minimize the withdrawal symptom and giving serious counseling, social counseling, and other counseling, and give them a new beginning, a new chance of life. So those are kind of social issues that we're also going to be dealing with. When you take them off the street and when they're okay, you send them to vocational training. Who knows what can come out of it at the end of the day? But these are some of the things that we intend to do to move the country forward.
I want you to see here, I assume this person here, this comment, if you can't read it, I can read it out here. To this guy say, we Marylanders are somehow confused. I don't know the number that are confused. I'm not sure why get her confused. Is there something that you want her to make her to understand why she shouldn't be confused?
Well, my telephone number is 0886-461-000. Everyone has it in this county. 0886-461-000. She can call me off air if she wants to get certain things clarified. Otherwise, she can specify what is it that confuses her right now, and we can address it.
Okay, fair enough. To discuss that's it right here. You have quite a comprehensive agenda. Now, Unity Party will either say, okay, let us go with Ambassador Ballout. He's dead. Who knows, Dr. Wyatt? He's one of, he's listened to our place. They are in a big political fight. And what happens after this program? And the CDC, the ruling establishment were to place a phone call to Ambassador Ballout. Look, there are a lot of good things we are hearing out of you. We need you here. These are people that we are looking for. Unity Party is trying to gamble your political life. How will you respond to that call?
Well, you are talking to John Ballout, someone who carries his own independent mindset. So we deal with issues as they come before us, and we base on the arguments that put before us, and we'll deal with things as they come. I'm not going to paint anything in black and white. I'm not an opposition to government. I'm a pro-Liberian politician. I support Liberia because every government, including my government, had their own shortcomings, and this government who falls far short out of the technical capabilities than our government, and they're having a whole lot more problems. We are here to help. Look, we don't know how long each of us have to live on this earth. We're not going to spend our time fighting each other when we are at the bottom of the ladder already. There is no country poorer than Liberia today. It is a joke to see that we keep digging ourselves further into the hole instead of cooperating and working to see how we get out. When we support each other, we all win. When we fight each other, we all lose. I don't fight people. So I'm not going to go make any remark and anything respond to any in any way to your remark. I'm going to say we're moving forward and we're going to deal with everybody as the time approaches.
Let me hear from you directly. I know it's a painful situation, but you as a former government officials and based on what we are hearing in the quarters, do you think the GOL, that's the government of Liberia, executed or fight effectively the COVID-19 situation? Alain, you survived the COVID, is that true?
Yes, I'm one of those the first people to contract the COVID-19. I was on my way to the county to have some political discussions around the 4 districts. And then I developed this cold and I treated it. And I said, well, what the heck? Let me just check it and see, make sure that, there's nothing behind it before I go to the county. And then I called Dr. Fala and asked his team to come and do the check. And they checked. So when they checked and they found out that I was positive with this corona, I immediately drove myself to the hospital. And on my way to the hospital, I called the radio station in Harper, Maryland County, and informed them. I think I was the first government official to go public on this matter, because, like I said to people, we are public officials, we are public figures, we are under obligation to use our story as a message to warn other people and take it very seriously. So I did that. I went in, and I was what is referred to as asymptomatic. I didn't have any of those symptoms really, so I didn't really suffer it like other people did. But I came out of it in 10 days, and I was out. And immediately I sent drugs throughout the length and breadth of Maryland County as my contribution to the health system to prepare for these kind of things as much as I could with the little contribution I could make. As in regards to your question, if we are fighting this thing here properly, we are just blessed that Liberia was not, you know,
Severely hit.
contaminated. It was
Right.
severely hit because we seem to be confused in many regards on how to deal with this. And I was in a hospital and I saw that the hospital was lacking on very basic things, very basic things. And as much as the doctors and nurses and staff were giving their everything, they were seriously lacking a lot of stuff. There was no laboratory there when I was there to check on things. There was no ICU for critical cases. There was no real supply of medicine. They were lacking the drugs, essential drugs. And so from my bed in the hospital, I contacted my colleagues in the Senate. Each and every one of them, I said to them, hey guys, you have to take this thing very seriously. I'm calling you from my bed in the hospital. And this is the only hospital designated by government to treat the COVID-19 in the country. And you don't have this thing. It's only a matter of time that you too will come here. Use the people resources to deal with the situation that can save the people right now. Use the people resources. You have the platform to take decisive action and save tons of things, save thousands of lives by taking the right step and giving this hospital the support it deserves. Up to the time I was there, the president had not visited that. So some of them, when I spoke with the president, he had assured that he was going to visit. I know my colleagues, some of them put a communication on the floor. I know Vani Sharma put a communication on the floor. I know another Blebo Brown. I know Yom Kanga Lawrence. They all put communication on the floor because of my discussion I had with them. But like I said and some other colleagues, Comedy we say and the rest, and some other colleagues. But like I said to them, we did not take it seriously, and up to now, it's just by the stroke of luck or blessing of God. Because what is the capacity of these counties right now to deal with this kind of situation? We don't have those capacity, you know. But like I said, with the meager resources the government has, I think they are trying to catch up now and do some things. But all in all, the statistics coming from Liberia is good, and there are people responsible for that, and we must give them the flowers and thank them for it. As much as there's much required to be done, I think since I've left, I hope and I assume that a whole lot more has happened because they were improving even before I left, and up to now, I think it's much better.
Right. So there are a lot of things you say here, Ambassador. Are you prepared if, for example, the Liberia Public Radio were to put a debate in place to call all of the actors, that is those that are participating into the senatorial race here for the debate? Can you re-echo those things, look into the eyes of the Banning, the Moriah, and point those their faults or their not being able to do their job like you have alluded yet? Are you willing to honor that debate if Liberia Public Radio were to put one in place?
Absolutely. In fact, I can tell you who will come and who will not come. Dr. Soko will come, the Eric
Yeah.
Jacob will come, even Musalawa will come, but Dan Moraes and James Banning will never show up. I can tell you, it's an open challenge for them. They will never show up. These people that report cards are ugly, especially James Banning. Moraes report card even better than James Banning. Okay, and they will never show up. Okay, and so let me say this in furtherance of your submission. I said that this year is going to be different. We're not going to have one debate in a Harper City Hall and then the curtains are drawn and then we say we finish with the debate. No, I'm taking them to open debate. I'm challenging them to 30 political debates in this country this year. 30. Okay, because the people in the 4 districts of this county, they will have us the opportunity to watch us debate the issues before them. The people in Grover Ken Barrobo district need to know who they are voting for. The people in Kaloken, they need to know who they are voting for. In the Plibo Sodeka district, they need to know who they're voting for. So Harper City is not Maryland County, and it's not going to be right here, and the rest of the people deprived of this opportunity. The Bani and Moraes will have to go to Kabbalah one day for a debate, and they will answer the people why they haven't been there 9 years and 10 years respectively, and they want to be Senate. Moraes will have to go to Barobo district and answer the people why he didn't go there 9 years, and at the 9th year he's trying to campaign there. People will have to assume the responsibilities for the actions taken over the years. Occasionally in democracy, the people's powers are restored to them, and it's now. It is one of the few periods, periodically, the powers are restored to the people, where they can hold their leaders accountable, they can question them, and they can deny them if they so choose. So this time around, we're going to go through a whole lot more debates. Yes, I'm prepared for the debates, anytime, anywhere. But there should be funny and moral, especially you would never.
Well, okay. I mean, we've been wishing out to them. We try to keep this proportionate. We think we don't keep information to disadvantage. And first of all, I want to thank you because this was a kind of impromptu one. I never had a chance to reach out, but with the help of our guy on the ground. But like you said, most of those guys, we were able to get to them. But just less than 8 hours, I can say it. We get this all sealed out. That's it. I think our leaders, political leaders, they must be answerable. Whether from Maryland, from Synod, people, we need to know these people, because who knows if Ambassador Ballout is elected senator, the next agenda we want to go to the highest office of the land. So I think all of these people, you guys have an explanation a lot for the Liberian people, regardless of our political and geographical locations. We all have a fish to fry inside Big Town, and I agree with that.
Well, as we probably draw to a conclusion here, let me just say to you that over the years, I have never boasted about the work I've done, and that was not politically correct, and I guess I paid a price for that. Today, I've been going around the county, and I've been speaking on every given opportunity at all the radio stations in the county, and my colleagues have been moving around the county, having...
just hold on one second. Yeah, hello? Yeah, hello. Hold on one second. Ambassador, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let me just get this call here. Quickly, let me go to this caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Zean. How are you?
Good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
So my name is Isaac Brown, and I am a son of Maryland, but I reside in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. But I'm a man, you're already in Maryland, my man, and you get fish to fry inside, so don't even go there. Okay, go ahead.
Good. So let me say good evening to former Senator BALLOUT. Good evening, Senator.
Yeah, he's hearing you.
Hey, Mr. Brown, I was with your father yesterday. And,
can you hear me, Mr.
Yeah, he's hearing you. Just go ahead with your question. Yeah, he's hearing you.
Good. So
I was with your father yesterday in Playboy. We spoke lengthily.
My name is Isaac Brown, and I'm a son of Playboy Solocan District. And I must commend him for appearing on the show. I know that sometime in the past, the Senator and I, we have our own political differences, but that has been resolved. And I must admit that he was one of the most tough-talking senators in the Senate at his time. So I give that up to him. But, I've been following the politics in Maryland. As a former student activist of that county, I want to ask Senator Ballout 2 questions. The first concern has to do with the issue of Senator H. Marias. I know there is this issue between Senator Marias and Senator expiring banning, where the National Elections Commission had nullified the date for banning to run on the ticket of the ruling establishment. I would like to get the senator's own opinion on that, considering the decision from NEG, and then I see Banning posting that he remains the candidate of the ruling party. So I just want to know what's Senator Ballout's own perspective on that. And then my next concern has to do with, the number of persons contesting now. I like the way he coined it, the forces of evil versus the forces of good, where Senator Ballout, like I said, he's tough talking and he quantifies himself amongst the forces of good, which, I cannot detest that. But let me just find out from him, looking at this political dispensation in the county, and knowing that Senator Ballout, he ran for his second term, which he was not successful, what could he tell us, say if things were not to go in his favor this time around? Could he throw his support behind another person? And if so, who would that person be? And again, let me thank him for appearing. And we look forward to hosting on our own Maryland platform very soon. once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I think I have to keep your number. We need to coordinate so that when we bring in these leaders, we can get to you two and find some sort of a coordination here. Damn, remember, where can I fireball question in as the Alphonso? Okay, let me go to.
Senator Ballout, yeah, he's my own big brother. He does very well. Brown.
Okay, all right. Okay. I will save your number. I will call you if there's a specific network to see how we can coordinate to get these things going. But I really appreciate your participation. Let me go back to the ambassador.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ambassador, are you there?
Yes, I listen and I listen very keenly. But let me say this to my good friend, Mr. Brown. Like I said, I was with his father yesterday in Cleveland, and we had a good conversation yesterday morning. I went to visit him. His father is like a father to me in Cleveland, so we had a good time. And your father was okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me who the CDC candidate would be. Both of them will lose this election. And CDC is under obligation, like every political party, to bring good candidates to the race. Okay? You bring people who have deprived the people representation, who have neglected the people, who have abused power, who have made themselves to be political boogeymen in the county, and you bring them and you think you will win? No. Maybe if John Ballout was not in the race, maybe. And they almost won. I just came in the contest a month ago, and already the tides have changed. The Bunny name was all over, the Mariah's name was all over, just like this county was put on kind of a spell, some witchcraft or something like that. Now I came back here, I splashed holy water all over this county, and everything has come back to normal. You understand me? So these guys, it doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, both of them can stay in court until the election is over. Okay? And let the positive forces come and win the election and give Maryland County some sanity in the representation to the Senate. Both of them, they are fighting so hard to be on the CDC ticket because they can't win election without this CDC thing here. CDC is the biggest political party here in Maryland County. You must give it to them. And so everyone thinks if you get on the CDC ticket, then that will be your ticket to win. And it's not automatic. It's not true. I said to Barney on television, on the radio here, he can wear George Weah t-shirt as many times as you want. 10,000 t-shirts, he can change it 3 times a day. He will not win this election because it will require more than a president t-shirt to become a senator of this county. You have to be a man who has been present when your county needed you. You will be a man who got vision and can bring solution to the people, a man who is respectful to the people, culture and traditions, a man who answers the president. Okay, and I say it clearly. So if the CDC want to look for candidate, let them look for candidate. They shouldn't find a candidate who has the highest level record of absentees in the Senate, in the legislature history of the Capitol building. Let's be serious. And the same thing with Morales. Both of them, no way they can go anywhere without this thing. So they're fighting so hard to get it. But it doesn't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, they can both stay in court until the elections are over. Now, the next one is talking about if I don't proceed to the election, I don't know why it should be that reason. Who or will I give my support to somebody? Again, we are all living beings. We're dynamic. We're not fixed in concrete in our thinking, neither in our actions or position. And everything is relative to the changing times. And we will address the situation as things go forward. If for any need, for anything we don't know, for any foreseen, unforeseen action or reasons, we will have to take decisions and we will ensure that things go well. But I can say this, if I will give my support to anybody, if, God forbid, if I'm not in the race, it will be somebody definitely from the positive forces. Those evil forces got no space in Maryland County politics anymore.
Wow.
And so let me draw some conclusion on some of the things I've done quick, because before we wrap.
Right.
Besides the fact that we brought the Tubman University, besides the fact that we brought the paved road into Maryland County, besides the fact that we brought electricity to Maryland County, besides the fact that we increased salaries every year while we're there and regularized the payments of salaries, every year people took pay on time all the time that we're in office. Besides this very critical and important obligations and responsibilities of the Senate, there were a lot of things that I've done for my private initiatives. And so I normally take these things out of the picture because anyone who was in the legislature at that time can claim some share of the credit in these collective efforts. So I will remove them and consider them a common factor. What I stress on most times when I go around, my personal initiatives, things that I brought to the table on my own. You know why we were making the Tubman University trying to open a Tottenham University. The kids here were not going to high school, college. I went to Monrovia and I brought the University of Liberia entrance here into Maryland, 2006, where I paid for 100 students to take that entrance free of charge. And the 100 students, I raised that money when I addressed the Marylanders in America. Thanks to them, they provided the money that we paid for the students, the 100 students that took the LU entrance in Maryland free of charge. The first time in the history that LU entrance will leave the capital city and come, especially to the southeast. So those kids took that entrance. They all graduated. They're all working in government today in
That's a
Liberia
big
and other
relief.
places. Okay, I went beyond and got the only nursing school in the country at that time while waiting for the Tottenham University to open. I got a TNIMA, Tottenham National Institute of Medical Arts, the JFK Medical School. And I brought the entrance to Maryland. 8 students passed that test. They went and lived in my house for the entire year, 1 year living in my house. Which other lawmaker could have done that 2007? So when I was, after they spent a year, I even rented place for them outside of my place for them to complete their studies. All of them are today back in the county except for one that passed, may his soul rest in peace. They are all working into the county now. The district health officer of Harper District, one of those students. The district health officer of Plebo District, one of those students, Williams and Seaton, respectively. Okay? I sent an entire container of computers, 80 pieces of containers of computers to the county 2008, 2007, so that the kids in the high schools can have access to a computer and have some kind of a modern, contemporary, approach to learning. Before, people used to come from Monrovia to pay our civil servants at the city hall and go back to Monrovia. I invited the president and vice president of EcoBank in Liberia to a lunch meeting in Monrovia. Subsequently, invited them to Maryland. Long story short, we opened a branch of the EcoBank in Monroe, in Harper, and in Plebo. I brought the EcoBank to Maryland. And all of these years, nobody knew except this year that I brought EcoBank to Maryland, that I brought this entrance to these kids and gave them all these opportunities. I brought the Right to Play NGO. I brought the NASCOP, this National Social Security, into Maryland. I brought the Land Commission into Maryland. All of those who are working in those institutions today cannot say they apply. I recommended, you know, help them to get into those places to work. And we went on, we've engaged the CRC to renovate the Plebo City Hall. We engaged the CRC Beta Youth Center. We engaged CRC to pay $29,000 to pay all the Maryland University students who have been kicked out of university sometime 2008. We cleared all those things. We engaged the usage for the renovation of the Harper City Hall. We engaged the Swedish government for the renovation of this Harper administration building. We give donations left and right. We put money from other places into all of the institutions. Money, not one penny came from my pocket. And engage partners. When you are a leader that respect yourself and you have a reputation and wish you can engage people, people they more than willingly support your agenda, especially when it's to help the county around you and your people. So there are too many such things, including all of the partners in health that is here, the major single most important contribution to the health system of Maryland County. We were there to facilitate all the paperwork to have partners in health here. Things like this happened and nobody knew. Like I said to you earlier, I went to the states and engaged the governor of the state of Maryland and spoke to them about the establishment of a sister state relationship between Maryland, Liberia, and Maryland, USA, based on the premise that the American Colonization Society founded Liberia, but they did not found Maryland. Maryland was founded by the Maryland Colonization Society. Unlike the ACS, which was an NGO, private initiative, the document that founded Maryland, Liberia, was a state initiative passed by a piece of legislation in the Congress of Maryland. So based on this, I went to the governor of the state of Maryland, had a meeting with all of his staff in the conference room, and I told him about Maryland County and the history, and he was shocked. He didn't even know the history. So he asked me, Senator, what exactly do you want? And I said to him, listen, I just want a document that can bring the two Maryland together, like father and son, like father and daughter, whatever, like families coming together, so that we can constitute your development agenda and you can constitute ours to see how you can help us, because we have just emerged from a war and we are having it difficult. So based on the fact that you gave birth to Maryland and you gave it your own name, meaning you meant to keep touch with this child all over Africa more than 160 years ago. And so I'm here for that. And they were just amazed. So they laughed about it. They said, Senator, you're interesting. Your story is interesting. It's fascinating. We assured you we'll get back to you. I didn't stop there. I got the WBAL-TV along the whole coast. You know the WBAL-TV. So I went to them. I spoke to them about Maryland. What a gem it was. What a hidden treasure it was to discover Maryland and expose it to the people of Maryland in the States. So long story short, I invited them. I took them to Maryland, put them in the plane. They spent 2 weeks with me in Liberia, 1 week in Monrovia, 1 week in Maryland. And we did the most beautiful documentary on Maryland County. Have you seen it? Africa's Maryland?
I hope I was searching. Is that on YouTube?
Check it out. Put
look.
Africa and put the apostrophe S. So Africa's Maryland.
Maryland.
Okay, and watch the beautiful documentary ever made anywhere in Liberia.
That's
So,
fascinating.
When this was played in the States, it came a lot of attention, and the governor and the other people just invited me to sign this historic document because they were blown out of their minds with the kind of a beauty of Maryland County and the history that compels us to work together. So today, long story short, we have a historic document, sister state relationship between Maryland, USA, Maryland, Liberia, since 2006. Does it tell you about the kind of leaders who will work to bring vision and think outside the box and expand beyond our territorial limits into the United States and rekindle long lost relationships? So today, people are for the first time discovering it. I didn't put it on the internet because this is election year. It's been on the internet for the past 10 years.
There it is. I always like to do fact check. As I'm saying it now, maybe
nobody knows about it. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the kind of thing I want you to know who you're dealing with. Now that the people of Maryland County have understood, they have understood because I've spoken more than 30, 40 interviews around the country right now on radio. I've spoken to more than 60 different towns already since I've been here in 1 month. I had 3 meetings, 3 different towns a day. I go to these places. The Bani and Mariah's noise that I heard in this country is long gone. I can assure you, if we have election today, we're going to be having one John BALLOUT, and that only happened in 1 month. What do you think will happen next month and the month after before election? So today we're coming. Not you telling me I am. How did you? What is the word you use? And I said I'm angry. I'm not even coming in like I am furious. I'm angry. Okay, I'm coming here with a lot of aggression in this election to suppress this kind of evil forces that have suppressed the country for too long because the people could not speak. Today, as I speak to you, government officials have been threatened of their jobs here because they're not going to support Bani or this person. Bani goes around telling everybody he's friend of the president. If you don't support him, they will dismiss you from your job. And he's going to, they are dismissing people and replacing people with jobs. What kind of abuse of power is this? Where did he see it? When we were in power, we showed them good example. Where did he get this kind of bad practice from? Friend of the president, friend of the president. Look, I said to people,
where do you think he got that from?
When somebody just get bad ways, the bad ways come up in them when they wake up in the morning. That's all. I said to him, he will have to bring a better argument in front of the president to be qualified as a senator of this county. You understand what I'm saying? He goes around telling people, you vote for me, I will get it, will give you a job. You vote for me, we'll give you a job. So
I think people validate it. Daniel from say I came across. Thank you very much, Honorable BALLOUT Jr. Excellent job. And I just seen the documentary here. I'm going to take time here. We have to. I'm going to set up a special thing. You got to come back here for us to unsettle some of the rest of the things. I love this sort of conversation here. Now we get into the concrete of your whole argument, and on purpose you decide to keep it and just make it at the last, which is also is a good thing to do.
It's not on purpose. It's not consciously done. I was just too preoccupied, too busy working and trying to deliver. You got the eye servant and you have real servant. You know, you grew up in Liberia. You know what the eye servant is. When your mother comes in the house and you pick up broom and say you're sweeping. You know? No. Yeah, sometimes the mother and father come home and then you see the house is clean and the yard is clean and you say, wow, you guys did a great job. The place is clean. You did well. That there's someone responsible for that. And that person is not bragging to the city in the corner. But this time, because other guys go around saying, oh, BALLOUT didn't do anything. So this time I've shut their mouths. I have presented what I've done, and I've in very loud terms of what I've done in this county. And none of them can come 10% of what I have done in this county. So now that I'm here, they will all, I can tell you, you invite them for debate, they will never show up. Jigo may come, Topo may come, Musa Lawal, the Yansi, and the other people. Even the chicken, the goats, and flies and mosquitoes may come. But Bani and Moraes will never come here. I can assure you that. They will never come.
All right, what a great conversation here. Ambassador to John A. BALLOUT Jr., former Liberian ambassador to Qatar, former senator to Maryland County, Republic of Liberia, on his way trying to get back to capital to get the people work done, the people of Maryland and that of the Republic of Liberia. Honorable Ambassador, we want to say thank you so much for your conversation. I'm looking forward when confirmed by NEC, then of course, perhaps you have made a political decision to which way to go, which party, and what's going to be your standing, then we can dwell on more of those conversations. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much myself. And I don't know where the other question came from with the other person saying with Brown suggesting if I don't go, who will I give support? You know, a lot of people have come to me and said, Senator, these guys are planning all kinds of tricks here to mess you up, you know, to stop you from this race. They're going to go gutter on you. They're setting for you because they know you are spoiling the whole election for them. Because of you, nobody is talking about them now. They're going to do everything possible to stop you. And I dare them to do what they think they can do. You know, the process leading to the Capitol building is now being declared irreversible. And so I want to thank you for this thing. And then let me thank the people of Maryland County. Those out in the States as well. Please talk to our people back home. Please talk to our people back home. You know, campaign time, everyone is generous. Everyone is kind. These guys are going to spend money like nobody's business. They're going to give teachers. They're going to give power saw. They're going to give sugarcane mill. They're going to give rice mill. They're going to build town hall. They're going to build youth recreation. They're going to build things. They're going to spend money because they don't have anything else to argue except enticing the people, feeding on the frustration and poverty of our people. So I just said, let them advise. I've said to the people of this county, these guys will come with a lot of gifts. Take it. And when it's going to give you gifts, you're obligated to tell them thank you because it's a good thing they've done. But you're not under any obligation to make them senator because no amount of gifts can make them qualified to be a senator if they don't meet the requirements that can save and improve your own lives. So let me just thank the people of Maryland County. Nobody will vote out of ignorance. I would expose everyone and I will make it clear. Like I said for the Eric Jacob, because you guys are in the States. What I said about Eric Jacob, who resides in America, I said, Eric, if you want to be senator of Liberia, make up your mind and come and live in the country. You can't be in America and come and try a luck to be representative. It doesn't work. You go back. Senator, you come and try a luck. It doesn't work. This is not a hustle ground. This is our country. We've been here in the mud, and we're going to build it because we're here. Okay? The Topo is very hyper. Everybody complains. He's aggressive. He doesn't talk to people well. He doesn't treat people well, and things like that. He will have to cool himself down if he wants to be senator. Because first and foremost, the senator must be respectful of the people. Must be somebody who submit himself to the masses, to the people who are going to elect us. Because after all, the electors are the bosses. Let me thank you all. May God bless us all. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Folks, that's how we're going to leave it here today. Time has catch up with her. I'm Alphonso Zean.
Hallelujah.
What does it want to handle here this afternoon, folks? We want to thank all of you. Time has catch up with us here is 2:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alphonso Zean, so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. To those, Mr. T. Wilson-Gate, welcome, being with us here for a little while. And of course, President Daniel Fremont of the Perseverance chapter, I will say thank you. And all of you beautiful folks in Radio Land, I will say thank you. If you're from Maryland, River G. Grand Bassett, get those Kennedy's names to us. This is the only network, this is the only place the tough questions asked and information is being proportional, not disproportional. We discuss the issue, civility, ask authentic questions, and just bring it to you. Thank you so much for being part of this program.
You never lie. You never change. You never care. Hallelujah to my.
Until I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This time, the truth shall set you free will be Nataya from the Empire State of New York. I will be my guest. A regular program. It comes on live on Lpr-Tv every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alphonso Zean, so have a pleasant day.
The highest praise. Hallelujah. Give him the highest praise. Hallelujah.